Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to head off to my camp for another little adventure. We got family coming, and we also got to do some work. All right, we just got here. Grass is pretty long. It's been about a month since I've been here, so it's actually not that long. For those of you that haven't seen my cabin before, here it is. I built this for about $6,500. See, I got our facilities right there, and there we've got our solar system. A couple piles of cordwood. You can see the wind has kind of whipped the top up off of the area here. We've got this little wood shed I built. I had this old plywood, and I had the tarp, so I didn't spend anything building this. Well, I guess I got a strap right there. So there's two sliders that I have here. I got a 9-footer on the back side, and I got a 6-footer on the other side. The guy was trying to sell them on Craigslist, and I think he was asking for $300 for the two of them. It was either he was asking $300 or $150. But whichever the number was, I offered half of that, and he sold them to me. And the funny thing was, you know, these sliders are almost brand new. The reason he wasn't selling them is he didn't bother to take a picture of them. These things would have sold on a moment's notice had he taken pictures of these, I think. What happened was he had a house on the water in New Hampshire, and he added a deck, I think, onto the house, and added these sliders. And he was very close to the water's edge, and the town told him he was breaking, you know, he needed a permit, and he couldn't get a permit for what he wanted to do. So he had to rip it all out, and so that's how I ended up with these. So total I paid was either $150 or $75. I'm not sure which. Same thing with all these other windows. They're replacement windows, and I bought them all together, and I think I paid $100 for them all together. You know, I must say I spent an awful lot of time looking for these deals on Craigslist. So, you know, if time's money, I guess maybe I spent more than what I'm saying. But anyways. Well, it's been about 30 minutes. This junky little mower I've got does a great job, I think. This right here, I had all this cleaned out 2 years ago, and I had planted flowers all in through there. But these blackberry bushes, you just can't stay ahead of them. They're unbelievable. Yeah, we've got a chive plant buried in there that's looking pretty healthy. And here is, it's a big mess right now, but here is some comfrey that I planted. Again, this thing, you can't kill it either. I mean, absolutely have done nothing to help it grow other than plant it. And here's one of the flowers that are still surviving in all this competition here. This property right here used to be a farmhouse many, many moons ago. Right up here, you climb right up to the top here. This was a rubble stone foundation. Apparently someone had come in here and hauled off all this stone. Apparently, you know, stone from a rubble foundation like that can be pretty valuable. So there's a few pieces here and there that they've left behind. And I think you can get a sense of the view I could have if I cut some trees. See, it's kind of humid right now. So you can kind of see the haze as we walk over there. Oh, look at that. We got a few blackberries here. We got one here and a few more there. They're delicious. I think I'm going to spend some time hunting for some. Okay, so today we're going to try and put up a handrail on this staircase. Okay, what I'm doing here is my handrail is going to be a 2x4. So what I've done here is I've just set a 2x4 over here so that it runs over the top edge of every one of the treads. Now the way you figure out your height of your handrail is from the nose of the tread vertical. So in my case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this handrail at 35 inches above the nose. So I'm going to measure this, right? Right now, that handrail is about I'd say about 4.5 inches above the nose right now. Now I want my handrail to be at 35 inches. So if I'm 4.5 inches to the top of the handrail right now, means I've got to lift it 30.5 inches. So that's going to allow me to measure here and figure out the height of the post that I'm going to mount onto the stair so that I can lift this handrail up. All right, so I've done my math. As I was saying before, this is going to be my handrail, but I want it at 35 inches above the nose. So I can measure. Here's where I'm going to want to put the post. I'm going to put it something like that. So I can take, and I want it to sit on this little shelf. You know, every situation is different. But what I'm just trying to explain is how you figure out the height of things and you gotta and how you can set something in place of where you're working so that you can then measure off and you can think about how high this is and how high you want to bring it, so you can measure off this and then figure out the elevations altogether. So in this case, we've concluded that based upon the height that this stands over the nose, and we want to go to 35 inches, we know we've got to lift everything 30.5 inches. So I can just go from where I want to put the bottom of that post up to the top of the rail, and I see that as 15.25 inches. So I want to raise that 30.5 inches. So on the short side of my post, I would want my height to be 45.75. Now, I've decided I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to lower the post so that your hand runs along the handrail. So I'm not going to be bringing my post right to the top of my handrail. So I had my 45.75 from here to the very top of this when it's all the way elevated. But now I can figure out how much I want to drop that post so that I give like a reveal. In my case, I'm going to take off 1.25 inches. So now I have my total height. It's 45.75, and then shorten it 1.25 inches gets me to 44.5 inches. So I'm going to go cut a piece like that. Now, obviously, you're going to have totally different dimensions on anything you're doing. I'm just showing you, you know, if you think back to high school in algebra class, I'm showing you my work. All right, so I've got another piece that I'm going to use for this post. Right now I'm holding it down that 1.25 inches that I talked about. I'm going to mark the back side. And now I know how much I want this to go up vertically. So I can just take my tape measure and add onto that. So we want it to go up 30.5 inches. So I want it to come up to that point. Now I also want to leave a bit of a reveal. I'm not bringing it right to the bottom. So now from here I can subtract off how much of a reveal I want. The other thing I also have to do is figure out this angle. You know, the angle should be exactly the same. If you go this way, since this handrail is running parallel to the stringer, I guess I don't have to think about the angle of this because it should be exactly the same as you can see there. All right, I've got that nice and plumb in there. I'm going to put a couple carriage bolts in it. Okay, so I have the posts installed and I screwed on the handrail. The way I had measured the handrail is I actually just put a piece of scrap 2x4 up there and held it in place and then marked it off. So now I've got to build all the railing that goes around this opening here. All right, sorry I didn't get to film all this. When I was last presenting to you, I was working on the handrail. I ran out of battery, but you know, a lot of what I was doing was just not that complicated. But let me show you what I've got. So here we've got our verticals. And we've got 3 verticals on this side. We've got the railing, the corners, and then 3 verticals this way. I've got this mocked up right here so you can see what's going on. We're going to have balusters with a little bit of a chamfer on each end. Let's go up to the top so you can see that. Now this staircase is very, very narrow, but the heights of these railings is within spec. What I did here, again, we went for 35 inches over the nosing. So I put these verticals in, got the handrail in, and then I could figure out from there how I wanted the railing to go around the opening. Now the reason why I've designed this with these carriage bolts is in the event that someone wants to bring a big piece of furniture up here and you just can't make it with this railing. With the carriage bolts and the screws, you can disassemble a portion of it. I even went as far as on where my foot is right here. You could cut out about a foot of the floor here and screw it back in. So that way, what I was worried about is if someone wanted to get a king bed up here, they might have a hard time making it up here. But I guess you can get the foundation in 2 pieces. So I guess that should be a non-issue. But again, this handrail, to bring a mattress up here, you might have to take off this handrail and this section. You could still leave the 2 outer sections, get the furniture up here, and then screw it back together. I don't think it's a big project. Alrighty. One other thing I wanted to mention to you is I worked all day using my chop saw, skill saw, drills, and all the associated tools, right? And I've managed, oh, let's not forget, have our refrigerator and have our internet service running, satellite internet. So I managed to do that all today using our 400 watt solar system and not running out of battery. So just so you can see here, the refrigerator is at 35.5 degrees Fahrenheit. %, and this is after an entire day of working. Now, so that's after an entire day of working. You know, it was a slow project because I'm doing a lot of fitting and so on and so forth. So it's not like I had that chop saw running non-stop with a skill saw, but you know, I probably did 50 cuts at least, and you know, constantly running that drill. So, and charging it, also charging our laptops, tablet, 2 phones, and again, internet and the refrigerator. So I think it's pretty good. I'll have another video detailing more about this solar installation, the items that I actually have used and how much I spent on them. But you can't beat it. To make the chamfer uniform on each one of these balusters, I've put a pencil mark on the bed of my my miter saw. You know, you can put tape, whatever. It's a lot easier. Just put a mark, and then every cut will come out the same. To keep all the balusters at the same height, I'm just going to take this extra one, clamp it at the top. I had previously figured out the spacing between balusters, so I cut a block equal to that dimension. So it's just a matter of holding them in place. Screwing them in. If I was doing a long run of these, meaning, you know, it's huge, I'd put a level on it once in a while to make sure I'm maintaining plumb, but I don't think with the short distance here we can get too out of whack. Anyways, so this is what we've got. We've got the banister going around on these 2 sides, plus a little wrap in this end. Came out pretty nice. It's my version of finished carpentry, using rough carpentry lumber. So here's our little sitting area, living room, and then our kitchen area. So 2 bedrooms upstairs, a composting toilet outside. It's pretty nice. It's a lot of fun. It's a very quiet place. So anyway, hey, thanks for taking the time to watch. I really appreciate your viewership. Please like and subscribe, and pass along this video to others that might find it of interest. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching. Take care. Bye.